David Heurtel is standing by. Take a look at a couple of stories. Former Quebec Liberal cabinet minister, of course, political analyst now. David, I was going to start with the Sovereign Wealth Fund, but I wanted to because we really haven't talked much about this at all since the beginning of the show. What happened, Donald Trump, the apparently assassination attempt that happened over the weekend, and your reaction to that, and plus what we're hearing now, what we're finding out, and what you think of all this.
Well, I guess my first reaction was that, I was bombarded with alerts like everybody. I was flipping between NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs, and just watching the images. And my first reaction was how normalized this has become. It was like, oh, another one. And then when I heard that the president was going to make a statement from the White House right after, I said, okay, here we go, with, another one of his, diatribes that we're now too familiar with. And the tone was very surprising. Now, today it's changed from his press secretary took the usual tone against, the far left, et cetera, today. But his tone on Saturday night was surprisingly, very moderate, trying to bring people together. The tone was right. I mean, it was a rare occurrence of the president just trying to say, okay, enough. Let's try to find a path to unite around this. I don't think it'll last, but I'll recognize the fact that was positively refreshing.
Okay. Look, the other story today, and I don't want to take away from the fact that yet there was another assassination attempt against a sitting president. But did you hear what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel and what the president has asked now based on what happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Jimmy Kimmel, I didn't see that.
So Jimmy Kimmel did a sketch last week because, this year the White House Correspondents' Dinner took on a bit of a different look. There's no comedian, right? They'd hired a mentalist to come on and he was going to entertain. So Jimmy Kimmel put together a sketch where he is, right, the comedian who will be emceeing, as this happened in past years. And he said, among other things, this, and this is what, and I'll get back to what the president said. So this is Jimmy Kimmel.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
Yeah. So, based on that, the president has asked that he be fired. Melania Trump has asked the same thing, and I'm wondering what your take on that is.
Well, again, it's comedy. I mean, he remember that the flash I have is, remember way back during Trump 1, the Kathy Griffin sketch.
Yeah.
With the beheaded Donald Trump, and that basically canceled her completely. Yeah. So, but on this one, I mean, again, it is something that, after the fact, going after Kimmel, there's of course all the past history between the two. Yeah. And so, I think it's basically opportunism on Trump's part to try to finally get rid of Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, here we go again. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Alexandre Boulris. So this is the best, unkept secret in the past couple of weeks. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, leaving the NDP federally to run for Quebec Solidaire provincially.
Well, now, first thing is that we're talking about a federal MP that has been representing federally, the people of Montreal now since 2011 without interruption. And never once did he bring up the fact that he was a sovereignist.
Oops.
I mean, what an epiphany, because he just ran for, I think it was the 4/5 time, as a federal MP of a Federalist Party, and he won in 2025, just barely, not even a year ago. And here he is now saying, I'm for sovereignty, and I'm joining a sovereignist party, which Quebec Solidaire is. So first thing, quite the turnaround. Two, it's going to be very interesting to see, because Alexandre Boulris while he is known in of course, what you would call progressive or left-leaning politics, he came up, as I said, with Jack Layton and Tom Mulcair,
right,
who are two you would call in politics, they were pragmatic, left-leaning politicians. They're not even close to what Avi Lewis is now, the new leader of the NDP is. And so his pragmatic stance as a federal MP for the NDP is what Québec Solidaire has just rejected with Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois. The members of Québec Solidaire took out Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois as leader because he was trying to do the same thing with the party that Jack Layton and Tom Mulcair did, federal. And so it's going to be very interesting to see if he is, if the members of Québec Solidaire are really going to adopt him, or is he going to go, further to the left? And then, is it going to have the expected impact? Is it going to help the fortunes of Québec Solidaire? Because right now it's not looking good at all. And is it going to help with recruiting candidates? Because right now that's a big problem for Québec Solidaire. And does that mean that he is part of maybe a total and complete rebuild after the October election?
It's just funny when you say that, right? By the way, you didn't think about this. I was a federal NDP, and, as far as Quebec separation, it wasn't that important really to talk about that. It was a big wave. We were all caught up in it. And now, of course, I'm wondering, too, and I may have asked you this originally, David, when we talked about this. I get the part about leaving the federal NDP, right? It's a party going nowhere. But sure, you could say the same thing about Quebec Solidaire, could you not?
You could. But the thing is that I think right now there are several things in play. While I don't think Alexandre Boulris was very much interested in spending the next 3 years in Ottawa with Avi Lewis as leader, especially where it was going, where this is heading right now. I think that might have played a big part in it as well. Two, and it's not a simple thing. When you have an opportunity to come back to Quebec, I mean, it's much less of a grind. You're home more often. Quebec City is easier, and he's getting a seat. There aren't a lot of safe Quebec Solidaire seats, but this one is still rock solid Quebec right. Solidaire. I mean, it's the plateau. It's Françoise David, one of the co-founders of the party's former seat. It was Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois' seat. So this, for him, also gives him, a good shot at another 4 years. And from a principled way of looking at it, I really do think that there will be a time where progressive left politics will come back eventually. I mean, look in the U.S. I mean, there is something to be said for what Zoran Mamdani is trying to do, and there's some people that have some success with reinventing progressive politics. It's not happening here yet. But if you're looking long-term, he's still a relatively young man. If you look after the 2026 election, you could see him as one of the building blocks for maybe a renewal of progressive politics. I'm not seeing it yet, but that could be also something that attracted him to coming back to Quebec.
All right, I'm going to leave it at that, David, unless you'd like to weigh in on the question that I started the show today, and I'm going to come back to once we get done here. I don't know if you saw the story today. It turns out hundreds of businesses in the province have decided not to adopt the province's new tipping laws, right, which were supposed to be you tip on the net, you don't tip on net plus tax, and apparently it's being ignored. There have been hundreds of complaints. What do you think? Time to do away with tipping altogether and adopt, I don't know, a European model or what?
I think it would be so much simpler. I mean, I like the European model much more. It gives so much stability for wait staff, for kitchen staff. I think that would be the best way to go. I don't understand why because all this situation does right now, it's a lot of red tape for businesses, changing the programming and everything. I know some small businesses, it's not because they don't want to necessarily, but it's just a hassle. It's just more red tape on top of red tape on top of red tape. And for wait staff and for kitchen staff, it is so iffy. You can't always know. It goes from one thing to another. And I think for the service economy, it would be a much better model to go the way the Europeans have.
We will leave it there. David, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Ademais.
You bet.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.